If you could travel anywhere, where would you go? Someplace far away? Or closer to home? Like the National Mall in Washington, D.C. April and Jody have taken a trip to Washington, D.C. and are exploring all the sights.
It's the Washington Monument.
The Capitol building. Wow.
Most of the national monuments and museums in Washington, D.C. are near the National Mall. No, it's not a shopping center. It's a grassy area that stretches from the Lincoln Memorial to the Capitol building. Seeing all the sights means you really need to be able to find your way around. If you're looking for the Washington Monument, it's pretty hard to miss. You can see it towering over the city. But what if you want to find a place or a monument that's a little less obvious? You could stumble around until you bump into it, or you could ask someone.
Excuse me, do you know where the White House is?
It's near the American History Museum. You can't miss it.
Go to where Pennsylvania Avenue meets Constitution Avenue and look to your right.
If you want to find where something is, just use the map.
A map. Great idea.
This map of the Capitol area shows where everything is and where April and Jody are now. And here's where you'll find the White House. Using a map is a great way to find things. By looking at a map, you can figure out where you are and where you want to go. Using the map, April and Jody will be able to find the White House. A map is a drawing of a place. Maps come in all shapes and sizes and have lots of different uses. Some maps show the streets in a neighborhood. Other maps show where rivers, lakes, and mountains are. If you want to know what the weather is like in other parts of the country, check a weather map. Population maps show how many people live in an area. And world maps show the entire world. You can use a map to find out where you are. That's called your location. Location describes where something or someone is. When have you ever used a map?
We used a map when we went to my grandmother's house. On our vacation, I used a map in the car while my dad drove. We used a map at the zoo to find the lions and tigers.
There are all kinds of maps. This map is as flat as a pancake. It shows you a bird's eye view, or how a place looks from above. No. You don't have to be a bird to see a place from above. You can imagine what it looks like from above. Or you might have an aerial photo taken from a plane. All maps provide information. The amount of information on a map is what makes that map simple or complex. Some maps are simple. Take this map of April's neighborhood. The map shows April's house, the streets around it, her school, and the library. This is a simple map. Some maps are complex. The more complex a map is, the more detail it shows, and the more information you can learn from it. Now, April's community map is much more complex. But remember, it's not the size of an area that determines how complex a map is. It's how much information the map has, or how detailed it is. Two maps of exactly the same area can be simple or complex. You might need a magnifying glass for this one. It's loaded with so much information. People use maps every day for all kinds of reasons.
I'm a firefighter, and we carry lots of maps on the pumper. Real specific ones that show us individual house and building locations, as well as where all the streets and the specific fire hydrants are. When there's an emergency, time is of the essence, and we have to know the most direct route from the fire station to where the problem is. We use maps every day.
I'm a DC cab driver. I think a map is a must for cab drivers here in DC. You have new streets, new buildings, new roads.
Round circling uptown. Who's talking to me?
Washington 184th, 33rd and Clay, Northeast.
Okay, and 124, you have Downing Street, Northeast. Cab in Anacostia again in Brooklyn and Congress and downtown.
My name is Kim Hughes. I'm a civil engineer. A civil engineer can be many things. Civil engineers design the highways that you drive on, the airports that you fly into and out of, the buildings that you go to school in. A civil engineer would use a map for just about everything that they do. We would look to find out where the hospitals are, where the schools are, where the parks are, because we need to consider those types of facilities in order to build our project correctly.
We're visiting Washington, D.C., and we use maps to find all the fun places to see.
And all the museums.
And all the places to eat.
Great, we can go up that way, go to the aquarium.
Maybe we could go to that woodland.
That's a pretty good idea. They have good restaurants there.
Remember, the more complex the map, the more information it includes. This map of Washington, D.C. shows museums, subway stops, restaurants, government buildings, and monuments. Different types of maps give you different types of information. Maps can tell you where earthquakes occur around the world, how high a mountain range is, and where the stars are in the sky. What information can you learn from the map of the National Mall? Let's see. From this map, I can see that most of the museums are on either side of the National Mall. There are lots of statues and monuments, and a large pool in front of the Lincoln Memorial. So, maps can help us find specific places and show us valuable information. What else? Well, one of the most important functions of a map is to keep us from getting lost and to help us get back on track when we are lost. Being lost doesn't always mean not knowing where you are. It can also mean not knowing how to get to where you want to go.
Here, take my picture.
Let's say you're trying to find the carousel. It's not quite as easy as spotting the Washington Monument, is it? You could try getting there from memory or even by asking directions, but that doesn't always work out so well.
Hey, we forgot. We could just check the map.
Yeah, great idea.
Using a map is a good idea, especially if you're lost. Locating information and specific places and finding your way when you're lost are important reasons to use maps. Without the map, April and Jody may never have found the carousel. Hundreds of years ago, when people believed the Earth was flat, they thought that a map was a true picture of what the Earth looked like. Then they learned that the Earth is round, like a ball. This round ball shape is called a sphere. A globe is a sphere. Now, the Earth isn't a perfect sphere. It's slightly flattened at the top and bottom and bulges some at the middle, but a globe is a pretty close representation of what the Earth looks like. A globe is a model of the Earth. A model is a smaller version of something larger. Suppose you're really interested in cars. Well, you can't keep a real one in your bedroom, but you could have a model of a car. You can also have a model of the Earth. Because globes are models of the Earth, in some ways they are more accurate than world maps. For example, take the distance between two places. Look at this world map. Can you find the two places that are the farthest distance from each other? Now, find these same two places on a globe. The places you thought were farthest apart are actually very close. The difference between a map and a globe is that a globe is round, so it's three-dimensional, like the actual Earth. But because a map is flat, it doesn't represent the true shape of the Earth. Now you know one important difference between maps and globes. Here's another way globes are more accurate than world maps. Imagine making a round globe lie flat. It doesn't make a very neat map. There are lots of gaps. You have to stretch the edges to fill in the gaps. The stretching changes the shape of oceans and continents. That's another reason why world maps are not as accurate as globes. We've learned what maps and globes look like and how they're used, but what are the different parts of a map or a globe? Map makers, also known as cartographers, use special words to talk about the world. This makes working with maps and globes easier for you and me. After all, Earth is a large planet, nearly 25,000 miles around the middle. At the top of a globe, or world map, you'll find the North Pole. And at the very bottom, you'll find the South Pole. From anywhere on Earth, if you are facing the North Pole, then you are facing north. If you are facing the South Pole, you are facing south. Cartographers divide the Earth into halves. Any sphere can be split in equal halves from any direction. If you divide the Earth into halves between the North and the South Poles, you can see the Northern Hemisphere and the Southern Hemisphere. The prefix hemi means half. Hemisphere means half a sphere. Another way to divide the Earth is from the North Pole to the South Pole. This creates the Western Hemisphere and the Eastern Hemisphere. It works the same way on world maps, too. The Earth is divided into hemispheres. Notice how globes and maps are covered with lines. These lines are imaginary. They do not exist in the real world, but they are drawn on maps to help people find specific locations. They may be imaginary, but they are extremely important. Remember how we split the Earth in half between the North and South Poles, creating the Northern and Southern Hemispheres? The dividing line between the Northern and Southern Hemispheres is called the equator. You will find the equator in exactly the same place on all world maps and globes. You'll notice the equator runs through the continents of South America, Africa, and Asia. We also split the Earth into two halves from the North Pole to the South Pole, creating eastern and western hemispheres. This dividing line is called the prime meridian. Besides the equator and prime meridian, there are other lines on world maps and globes. Notice the lines that run from north to south on this globe. These imaginary lines are the lines of longitude. Like the prime meridian, these lines are vertical, meaning up and down, and they run from the north to the south pole all around the globe. Do you see the lines that run east to west? These are the lines of latitude. They are horizontal lines, meaning that they run from side to side and run in the same direction as the equator. Remember it this way: it's a long, long way from pole to pole, so we call these lines lines of longitude. The lines of latitude run across the Earth and look like the rungs on a ladder. Hey, we're climbing the ladder of latitudes all around the world. So we've got maps, which are mostly flat, and globes, which are round, and we know all the parts. The North and South poles, the four hemispheres, Northern, Southern, Eastern, and Western. The imaginary lines, the equator, the prime meridian, and the lines of latitude and longitude. Now we're ready to travel the world. People all over the world use maps and globes to identify where they are, where other people are, and how to get where they want to go. Got your map? Check. Got your globe? Check. Do you really need both? Which one should you use? Globes are our most accurate models of the Earth, but they are kind of hard to carry around. Try sticking one in your pocket. A map folds up neatly, if you're careful, and can be taken anywhere. The trick is figuring out when you should use a map and when you should use a globe. Maps and globes. Two different ways of looking at the world. You have to decide which you need to use, but it's not a toss-up. There are good reasons for using each. Globes can give you a lot of information about the whole world, but if you're interested in more detail about a specific location, a map might be your best bet. Maps really come in handy when you're trying to get from one place to another. Maps are usually easy to carry and can give you a lot of information about where you are. Street names, landmarks, names of lakes, rivers and mountains, and many other things. And lots of people use maps at work, at school, on vacation, and just getting around town. Like world maps, globes give us information about the world. They show us the relative sizes and shapes of continents and oceans. You just can't get the same kind of detail on a globe that you can on a map because you're seeing the whole world at once. Think about it. A map can show you a very small area of a country, city, park, or even your room. Good luck finding your room on a globe. Whether you're lost, you want to find a specific place, or you just need information, maps and globes are helpful. As long as you know how to read and understand the lines, signs, and symbols on a map, you're on your way.